Hello and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm T.A. Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life cosmic tales using the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write scenarios for other players. If you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Lewis was persuaded by Jimmy to let Jasper and Camille help as they went to the Tyner Science Annex, but only after Jimmy called the police for backup. Maggie had a revelation about Camille's teddy bear in a photo found on the Pinkertons' dead body, and then she raced to get back to the others. Entering the Tyner Science Annex, Lewis, Jimmy, Jasper, and Camille stalk through the darkness up to the second floor to find a situation that must be dealt with immediately. Now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Keep up, the stage is yours.
I'm gonna count on the fact that Phaedra has been
Torch
blinded
eyes.
by the light of the torch, and I'm just gonna wait outside the door with my hammer, and I'm ready to strike as soon as he gets out.
I'd like to sneak to the into the lab. Actually, I think that might be more fun.
Okay. As you sneak into the lab, and I'm going to ask for a stealth roll from both of you, and I'm also going to roll for Jasper and Camille that I think are going to follow you, Jimmy. That was kind of the idea, wasn't it? You go.
Is Maggie there as well?
Maggie is there. I'm going to ask Maggie what Maggie's doing in a second. Can I get the stealth roll first? Oh, well done, Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well done, Cammy. The old Cammy. And is that a thumbs up?
Yep.
From Jimmy?
Yep.
Excellent.
It's a failure on my part.
You're ruining it for everyone.
But I will spend luck.
46 luck.
Yeah, of course. I feel like, it's quite important if we want to, sneak on him.
Lewis.
So I will spend 46 luck.
As my grandmother used to say, because everybody's grandmother in this scenario has great advice, my grandmother would say in this situation, now is the time to either shit or get off the pot. And I like it that this is that moment for you, Lewis.
It's the shit moment.
Yeah. So 46 luck spent in one Vegas splash on this go. So Lewis successfully stealths his way over to the door with hammer raised, waiting for Tyner to come out. Maggie, what do you do?
So Maggie is very distressed at the fact that Camille is with us and is not Camille, and who knows what nefarious thing she's up to. So she's really trying to get a moment where she can whisper to the other two. But it sounds like the other two are following Jimmy straight into the lab. So yeah, I guess if they're doing that, I'm hanging around at the back of the group, and I'm just gonna sidle up to Lewis, because you're waiting outside room 203, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. So I'm going to watch them go in, and then I'm going to let the door almost close, and I'm going to lean across, and I'm going to say, Lewis, that's not Camille. I just saw a newspaper. Camille Goodwin's body showed up dead in Boston.
Is Deirdre hearing all of this as well, like right next to you?
Oh, wait, God, where's Deirdre gone?
If you're speaking, Deirdre is listening.
Okay.
So maybe you're not speaking.
You hear her.
Oh, the scandal.
Oh,
no, much as I love Deirdre already, I feel like she and Todd would get on very well. And I want to take him out for coffee when all this blows over. No, that's dumb, and I'm not going to do it. Fine. God, I follow Camille the traitor and Jasper and Jimmy into the lab because I'm unarmed and I'm going to be useless.
Okay, so you go into the lab. Okay, so Lewis, you're standing there with your hammer raised. Walking out of the office, you see this man standing there. What do you do?
I mean, as soon as I see him like get outside, I hit him.
You hit in the head?
Yeah, of course.
Give me a strength roll, please.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do that.
You are gonna go down for murder, Lewis. I respect the dedication.
The
I mean,
police is on the way already.
Jimmy
Yep.
is the only person who hasn't bludgeoned someone in the head yet.
quite honestly, I mean, I don't mind going to jail for that if I'm actually like saving people. I'm gonna spend 15 luck to make that a success.
How much luck have you got left, Lewis?
I had 23 before spending 15.
I like it. I like it. You make it a success. Your hammer comes down and connects with this head, and this body drops to the floor. Give me a luck roll, Lewis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now that I have only 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. And that's a failure, 75 against 8.
And I was really hoping you'd succeed on that roll as well.
Well,
Ooh.
You look at the floor, your eyes are adjusting. You have just smacked Brian Phelps in the back of the head with a hammer, who's now lying on the floor. Deirdre screams. "Ah!" Dr. Robert Tyner comes running out of the room, torch in the air. What the hell is going on? Behind
Hammer time again.
him, hammer time again.
yeah,
Behind
hammer
him,
time again, of course.
the office door slams shut. Give me another strength roll. You not got
So
much luck
he
to
has
make a
enough time to come out, see me, and like close the door.
No. He runs out, standing over Phelps, and goes, "What the hell's going on?" You're swinging your hammer to hit him. Somebody else is slamming the office door shut.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, and then we're going to
That's
go to Jimmy in
great.
a second. Give me a strength roll.
Yeah. Strength roll again. Hopla. Here we go. That's a success.
Right.
38 against 60.
So can you give me a 1d6, please?
Of course.
Phelps took it. He wasn't expecting it. It was a successful immediate kind of knockdown.
6.
Oh, Tyner, you crack him. His arm kind of is up with the torch, but the hammer does get him in the side of the head, and he drops to the floor, a heavy thud. Oh, God. And he's kind of lying on the floor moaning. Deirdre is, she's kind of grabbing onto you now and trying to stop you from hitting people with hammers. She's almost trying to wrestle the hammer from you, and in a minute we'll come to a contested strength roll between you and Deirdre. Jimmy, Maggie, you go into the lab. You see that Camille immediately scuttle through the lab and into the side door into the office. Do either of you follow her, or do you stay in the lab with Jasper?
I don't trust her at all. I really want to talk to Jimmy, but Jasper's here.
It's all happening very fast at this moment.
It's happening so fast. So yeah, I panic. The moment she's out of earshot, I turn to Jimmy and I say, "That's not Camille. She's an imposter. Her body, Camille's body, showed up dead after a 6-month search in Boston. I don't know who that is. Don't trust her."
What? Oh, I don't know what to do with this information.
As just saying that,
Oh,
Jasper goes up to the laboratory door, closes it, locks it, takes the key out.
what are you doing, Jasper?
But
What's your part in this?
we're stopping. Tyner, look, just it's best for you too if you just stay there, sit there. I've got to just don't move.
No. And Jim is gonna
Guys, can you give me
follow Camille.
you can follow Camille, absolutely. In fact, actually, Jimmy, can you give me a spot hidden? Maggie, can you give me a spot hidden?
She's
Yep.
not very good at that.
Let's see if I can help.
No.
Because it's all happening so quickly. Taking in
I
what's
feel
around
like
you has been
none
rather
of us
difficult.
as well is good like with psychology and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you don't want to play this game with all the psychology students, otherwise it's no fun. Jimmy, how did you get on with your spot hidden?
That is a failure.
So you go in the room and you see Camille's over by some kind of shelf and kind of like trying to open some kind of box on the side, some kind of large metal box, but you don't really
Mhm.
clock what's going on there. You're just kind of going in, whatever the interaction is. But you see Camille's kind of like twisting things, and then there's a moment where you hear a click. She opens something, she takes out some pages. And then she kind of goes past you. And Jimmy, as she goes past you back into the lab, she pushes you out the way. Get out of the way. And she goes back into the physics lab. She goes to the middle of the room. She puts these papers down. Maggie, what did you roll on your spot hidden?
Hmm.
I got an extreme success. That's 3 under 55.
Oh, Maggie, you see wonders. Where we're going, Maggie, you don't need eyes. Oh, wrong story. You come in and you see Camille come running in with these pages, putting them down in the middle of the floor. You see Jasper throw his crutches down.
Damn it, my next move was to take his crutches to incapacitate him.
Jasper
God
walks
damn it.
over to one side of the table and grabs some pages. He walks over to another desk on the far side where you see some rats lying on a tray. And next to that is, of course, this glowing purple serum in a syringe. You can see that there is in another syringe across on the other side of the table, there is a blue serum and there is a green serum. But you can see he takes the purple serum and he looks at you. Maggie, I'm sorry. Just stay there, stay out of the way, and everything will be fine. Cammy, and he holds up this syringe to Cammy. He picks up these pieces of paper and he starts speaking. He starts intoning this language, this unrecognizable language. Gotarium se netrve. And you can see that Camille comes up behind him and she starts ripping his shirt off. And as she rips his shirt off, you can see that on his skin, there are tattoos on tattoos, intricately laced within tattoos, symbols, codes, numbers, all over his body. And you can see that she is just, they are involved in some kind of practice here. He's sitting there reading these words. Caturum satire, astura necromenicum, desteres oscoros, and he's reading these words over and over and over, this repetition. Maggie, Jimmy, you come in the room, you see this going on. You can see that Maggie comes over to him and she takes this purple serum and she injects it into his neck. Oh, sorry, not into Maggie, into Jasper. She injects it into his neck. And then the next thing is she brings over this tray of rats. Maggie, Jimmy, what are you going to do?
I pick up one of the crutches and start swinging it at heads.
I have a saw, so...
You do indeed. What do you do? What do you do?
I thought you were the good guys. You lied to me.
Camille, we are the good guys. You don't know what's going on here. We are the good guys.
You didn't tell us. And he's going to...
You can't handle the truth.
Smash whatever's in their hands and whatever they're using with the thing. And if it cuts some limbs off, that's fine too.
So the injection's already gone into Jasper. Jasper's there reading these notes. Camille is now standing there with a tray of rats.
Are the rats alive or dead?
Yes.
They
appear immobile, but you do see twitches and movement and...
Zombie rats.
Smash the tray in the papers off their hands if I can with the...
Okay,
one
or the other. Choose one or the other.
Okay. I think I'm gonna get Jasper. I'm gonna try and solve his hands.
Ooh.
If I can.
Okay. Can you give me an attack roll and I'll see if he can make a dodge roll?
Yeah, Jimmy can't fight. He's trying his best. That's a failure.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of come running in and he's able to just kind of move slightly. He just goes back exactly to where he is and you take a couple of steps out of the way. In which time, Maggie, what do you do?
I'm just looking up what crutches looked like in the 1920s to figure out whether because they got that kind of Y shape. I was trying to figure out whether that
like a very thin tennis racket.
Yeah, kind of, but without the mesh. And I was trying to figure out if that top sort of compartment was big enough to contain a head, like if you could hook but I don't think it is, annoyingly. So I think they're just best used as like a hockey stick, sort of
What do you
swung
do?
as a club. So that's what I do. I swing it, and I mean, Jasper's the one who's taken the injection. I'm connecting that with the rabbit guy from last night. I know exactly how to deal with people of that kidney, and I try to brain him with it.
Okay, give me an attack roll, please.
Can do.
I'm going to give him a dodge roll with a penalty die because I feel like he's just dodged something and it is significantly harder to do that.
Well, luckily for him, I failed with a 72 over 45. Oh, I am tempted. These guys still might be the good guys, as far as
As you have
Howl,
that thought,
concerned,
these
but...
guys might be the good guys. Camille picks up a rat and literally opens up Jasper's mouth and puts it in his mouth, and he just starts.
They're not the good guys.
And he starts swallowing this rat in one. And as
like
Maggie's brain
maybe-
just starts going, these aren't the good guys, these aren't the good guys, these aren't the good guys. Lewis, you're outside. You've just attacked two people with a hammer who could be innocent heroes. What do you do?
Oh no.
Deirdre is wrestling you for this hammer. In fact, let's have a contested strength roll, please.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so contested strength roll. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Hup. That's a 75 against 60.
Oh.
That's a failure.
Deirdre got a 78.
Oh.
So you shake Deirdre off. She's not much to shake off, to be honest, but that was a pretty bloody close for Deirdre. She nearly nailed that. Good work, Deirdre. A promotion for you, perhaps. You pull the hammer away. You've got this hammer. Tyner's lying on the floor going, oh, God, you son of a bitch. You don't know what you're doing. Jasper, is that you in there, you bastard? Get out of there.
Is there like some sort of window inside the door?
Yes.
You know, like in education facilities, sometimes you have like small windows inside doors.
There is. Yes, there is. With gold lettering engraved in the door. It kind of, painted on the door.
I'll rush to this window and I try to look inside and see what's going on.
You look inside to see your old pal Camille feeding a rat in one to Jasper.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna smash the window and throw my my bomb inside.
Okay, the bomb's going inside. Nice.
Forgot you had that.
The
Good time
poison
for it.
smoke bomb. I'm just going to kill everybody in the room.
Everyone who hasn't been injected with reanimation serum. Yay.
Let's see what happens. Okay, so you smash the window. There's a few people that look around. You basically, the last thing anybody sees is Camille turning toward Lewis, who's raising this chemical bomb and is like aiming to throw it into the room. And you just see Camille just going, no! Lewis, can you give me a throw roll?
Ah. Yeah, right. I will do that.
Everyone always has so many points in throw.
Yeah.
Shall we all just jump out the window and get it over with?
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
70 against 20. Yeah.
Okay, so can you describe to me how this goes wrong? Because it's not successful. You don't land it necessarily in the room to consume everybody, but
I feel like the window is so small that I'm trying to throw it across, and maybe I smash it like on the door itself, just because I'm just trying to throw it, and the window is splam, and so it does explode, but like in my face, I guess.
Okay.
It was a failure, not a fumble.
Yeah, let's not go with a full-on like Lewis melts moment.
I swallow the bomb,
but I go to throw it and I end up drinking it instead. Lewis,
no, I mean, if you don't want it to smash, maybe you can just like ricochet on the door and get out of my hand, and it's rolling in the dark right now. And
that's it. I think that's a really cool way to say what happens here, Lewis. So yeah, you throw it, and as you do, it's the it's the bottom of the bottle, so the really hard bit that is more thicker glass, and it basically pangs off the door frame. You hear it clink on the floor. You hear it roll into the darkness. But you have smashed the window open, and you can see in. At this point, Jasper is kind of forcing the third and final rat down his gullet.
Stop them!
Jasper, you see that his body, and he is actually physically he is quite a specimen for someone who appeared so gangly, so fragile. He is actually quite physically built, refined. You see that his body is nearing perfection. You can see, Lewis, in this moment, in the clarity without your chemical weapon going off, you can see that some of the symbols on his body are glistening and rippling as he's chanting these words. And he's kind of, his body is almost kind of getting bigger and stronger in this moment. And you can kind of see him looking at Camille and smiling. Guys, I want to hear what you
was a
do.
great feeling all along. We knew it.
Jimmy, what'd you do? It's Jimmy, Maggie, Lewis, Camille, Jasper, then Tyner if we get to him. What do you want to do, Jimmy?
Goodness. So Jimmy has kind of flailed around with his saw aimlessly. I think Jimmy would like to open some windows facing the front of the building, ideally.
Open the blinds or the windows or both?
The blinds and the windows. It's time to see if the police are here and scream.
Okay, I'm going to give you that whole action. Yeah, you are able to run to the window, which is kind of right next to you, blind up, open the window, and just as you begin screaming, you can see the first police car pull onto the campus site. Over really,
start flailing.
You kind of pull onto the U-bend by the Dean statue. So it's a little bit away from you, but as you start shouting, you see a police officer kind of get out of the car. Even from this distance, I'm sure it's obvious it's Captain Johnson, who's kind of looking up in a coffee-stained uniform and just kind of looks up and hears you going, "Help, help!" And you can see the police officer looks up and points up towards you, and then begins kind of like jogging over to the science annex. Maggie, what'd you do?
This is a best case scenario. That man is fueled by pure rage, and also we don't super care if he gets killed by a zombie.
Oh. Zombie Johnson, there's a fear.
Oh God, yeah, I hope it's not contagious. Okay, well, Maggie, still holding this crutch in one hand, is going to dash over to where Lewis has just smashed through the window of the locked door. Actually, did she see Jasper lock it with like a key and then retrieve the key, or was it like a latch situation?
Yeah, he took the key.
Damn it. Is he still holding the key? Did he put the key down?
He put it in his pocket.
All right, well, there goes that idea then. I don't dash over to the door because that'd be useless. I'm just gonna swing at his head again with the. There's nothing immediately weaponizable in this lab, right? I'm not just like looking past a load of flasks of acid or anything.
No, not specifically.
No Bunsen burners hooked up. No acid.
No. I mean, what you've got is
tools.
you've got a small satchel on the side. There's some notes and papers that seem to have been collected. There's the trays of rats. There's the purple serum off to one side. There's the blue and green serum off to the other side. But if you are going to attack him, he's standing there, basically flexing his tattooed, rippling muscles. He seems to stand taller than ever, and he seems to stand there, in this glory. And he literally turns to Camille, going, "I can feel it. I'm stronger. My body, it's stronger than it's ever been. This is amazing. This is amazing." So I'm going to give you a bonus die on your attack, Maggie, because he's just completely disengaged with anything else that's going on around him.
Yeah, and I'm busy trying to kill that poor scientist guy from Arcane who just wanted to figure out a cure for his physical disability. But that's what Maggie would do in this situation, and they very much might still be the bad guys. So the only question is, does the crutch look like it's heavier than the metal tray that Camille was carrying?
Yes.
No, you know what? Yeah, and the crutch is already in my hand, so I'm just going to swing with that straight at the old noggin. And this time,
with a bonus
see if I
die.
do better. That's right, so twice. Whew, okay, so one of those was a 98, but haha, bonus die, 33 under 45. That's a success. Do I need to spend luck?
No, that's and that's a connect. Could you give me a I think we did a 1d6 with the hammer, didn't we? Let's go 1d6 -1 for the crutch, please.
That's fair enough. D6 coming in at 5, so that is 4 damage.
So you swing this crutch. Where do you hit him, Maggie?
I was going for the head, so if he's turned around to Camille, it's probably like the back or the side.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 things happen in quick succession. Jimmy, are you watching this? Well, you're in the window screaming, aren't you? Shouting out to the police. Lewis, you watching this?
I am through the window.
Okay, so Maggie and Lewis, you see this happening at the same time. Maggie, you swing the crutch round and you smack Jasper in the face, and it literally opens up a cut across the cheekbone, and you kind of see him like head kind of flick like that, and some of the blood kind of spatters across Camille. She just looks shocked, and Jasper just kind of looks at you, Maggie. you can't stop me. You can't stop me. I am this chaos-made flesh. I am. And you see the wound on his cheek stitch together and heal together. I am unstoppable. You can't stop me. And you see his cheek, where the wound has healed itself, begins to bubble. It begins to grow. The skin almost grows over where the wound was, and you see his cheek almost begins to expand and bulge. Camille. And you see Camille then kind of standing just off to the side. She's wiping at her face, wiping the blood off her face as quickly as possible. Within seconds, you see the cut has healed and then gone into overdrive, and the flesh on his face is now covering half of his face and pouring down his arm. And he kind of drops to the floor. You can see that this flesh is replicating and heal at this ridiculous rate, but it almost looks like it has a life of its own. Guys, can you make me a quick sanity roll?
Yeah, of
sounds about right.
course.
Yeah,
Just gave a guy turbo cancer.
Yeah. Yep. But this is a big one. This is a big sanity roll here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna want to make this. Jimmy, don't turn around.
Yeah, I'm not looking.
Success.
All right. So for a success, can you give me 1d6, please?
Yeah.
How about a failure? Because I failed by 3 points.
Right.
And I can't spend luck on sanity, can I?
No, you can't. That would be a mere 2d6 sanity, please.
Oh, okay.
I just want to warn you that I just lost 5 at once.
I think you'll find in the business we call that a bout of sanity.
That's why I needed to warn you.
Al, thank you very much.
I lost 7, so yeah, 7 down. Put me in that same bracket.
Of madness. Okay. Lewis. I'm going to your bout of madness. Your bout of madness in this moment is all aimed at Camille. You have been suspicious of her this entire time. And I'm going to say at this moment, Lewis, you go into overdrive. Whether it's that you need to tell the police about her, whether it's that you need to personally accost her yourself, in this moment, Camille must pay at whatever circumstance. Maggie,
Sounds good.
your bout of madness is different. Earlier, the night before, you brained an individual and it killed the monster. You've just hit Jasper in the face and his flesh has gone into overdrive. This flesh that seems almost alive seems to be self-replicating at this ridiculously quick rate. And you find in this moment that you must be the one, Maggie, to stop him. How do you stop this flesh at any cost? Your life, your sanity, none of it matters. You started this. You can stop it.
Yeah, definitely. Drunk with my own power. I think what I've learned is that the cranium is the weak spot. That's the solution to all problems. You just bonk them on the bonds. Happy days. So I think she just the one swing and then the staggering back as she sees the effects of it, and then just that rising tide of like empowerment and rage, and she's just going to bring that club down over and over. If she can, she's going to just pulp his face. She's going to keep swinging, you
Give
know,
me an
if it
attack
breaks
roll with a
she
bonus
keeps
die
going.
because Jasper's face is now fully covered with this flesh almost over its mouth. You can see his lungs like pumping as if he's trying to pull in air but can't.
Nice.
Maggie.
That is what I like to hear. I succeeded with a 32 thanks to the bonus die.
So this time you hit Jasper and there is a crunch and you feel that skull and cranium break. But what you also do is crack off essentially part of the skull with the flesh, and it lands on the floor. And that flesh on the floor seems to be replicating, seems to be moving, seems to be squirming. Tendrils seem to be moving, and Jasper's head seems to be replicating. His body seems to be starts to be consumed. There are now two entities of flesh. Jimmy, you hear all this commotion behind you. You turn around. You need to make me a sanity roll. Jimmy. Jimmy,
Sorry, couldn't find my unmute button for ages. Let's do it.
let's have this sanity roll.
Last one standing. Hard success.
Oh, okay. So a hard success is a 1d4.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
That fleshy
4.
mass seems reasonable. That's just a fleshy mass replicating on the floor from Jasper's face.
I think he can't quite tell what's happening. It's just almost abstract art for him at this point. It's like he
Nice.
just brain can't process it.
Like like a processing thing, like a buffering
he's like-
moment. What? So Jimmy, what do? You see that Jasper is horrifically wounded then, and then like half his head is on the floor, and there is this weird growth that seems to be overtaking him, this fleshy growth that seems to be consuming him. Camille seems to be so Camille actually runs through into Tyna's office, and you hear from there like a click and a door being opened from there.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna chase after Camille and be like, Camille, what do we do about this? Is this what you wanted? Whatever this thing is?
I didn't want this. I didn't want.
How do we stop it?
I don't know. She runs.
Where? Where is she running to?
She's running out of the building by the looks of it.
Well, it's locked.
Actually, she's running out of the building. Lewis, you're outside of the door of 204. She's running out of the door of 203. Lewis, what do you do? Camille is running past you, and you've got a significant hate on for her.
I don't want it to be hammer time again, but I think it's going to be hammer time again.
Hammer time. Okay, if that's what you feel in this bout of madness that Lewis would do when all of the problems that you're facing right now, Camille.
I feel like it's such a shame because I feel like as a player, I think I know the solution to it. But if Camille is there, I mean, I can't let her just escape like that. She's part of it. It's her fault. So I feel like I'm just gonna. Yeah, I don't have time to take my hammer back. I feel like I'm just gonna jump on her and try to just strangle her.
Nice.
Okay. Give me a brawl roll, please.
Yup.
Oh dear.
Nice.
This is a success.
Well, Camille rolled an 80 on her dodge, so she didn't dodge you. So you jump on top of her and start strangling her?
Yeah.
Okay, give me are you strangling her to kill her, strangle her? She is all of the things that are wrong with this, Lewis. In this moment, you look into her eyes and you see guilt. You see responsibility. Your grandmother would be proud of you if you took this candle and you extinguished this flame.
My grandmother is not someone like that, but anyway, I'm trying to hurt her as much as I can. And I do hope that it's not gonna kill her, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna try to hurt her as much as I can.
Okay, can you give me a 1d4?
Of course. And that's a 1.
You've pinned her to the floor. You're on top of her. You are restricting her airway. She's trying to fight back, but she's got nothing at this particular moment. And you're on top, just kind of holding her neck in that moment. Maggie, you're seeing these now 2 lumps of flesh. Jasper's body almost kind of falls and slaps into the floor. The flesh seems to be growing, seems to be consuming his body now, which seems to be making it bigger. And just as that flesh kind of grows, it makes contact with the other smaller flesh that was a part of his head, and then they kind of form into one bigger flesh. This is now taking up half of the room, Maggie.
Maggie's not really thinking self-preservation right now. The solution is violence. So just fairly uninterrupted screaming and kind of a whack-a-mole approach. I think if she's lost track of the cranium, then she's going to try and find it by just sort of a scattergun approach with this crutch.
Okay. Give me a brawl roll, please. Give me an attack roll.
Love to. That is a failure, unfortunately. 73 over 45. I don't even know if it's worth spending luck at this point, because I have a feeling that this is not going to work out.
You're certainly welcome to try.
No, I'm going to save the luck just in case. I think for now I'm going to accept the fact that I can't take out this eldritch flesh puddle with a stick.
So you attack and slam. Nothing seems to be happening. But what you do notice is a tendril seems to have come up and seems to be moving. And Maggie, it whips out towards you, this tendril. Could you make a dodge roll for me, please?
Oh no, I liked it better when the monster wasn't fighting back.
Yeah, that's what I imagine they'll all say.
I'm not so good at the dodging. That is in fact a failure, 59 over 35.
Okay, it has a success. Can you give me a 1d4, please?
Oh yeah, that's okay. Oh, 4, come on.
So this tendril whips out and almost kind of gets a line right down your arm. And as it does, when it rips off, it pulls literally your flesh, your skin off, this line of skin. It just rips it off. And then as it kind of just waves in front of you, you see that it just absorbs and consumes the flesh that was once on your arm, and your arm is now bleeding quite significantly. How many hit points do you have in total?
I had 11. If I lost 4, then I'm on 7 now.
Okay, that's fine. You can see that this flesh-consuming monster is absorbing anything it's coming into contact with, and it is growing. I'm going to give it over to you guys now. Maggie, your bout of madness, I would say, with the fact that you have destroyed its head and its cranium, no longer counts. You've come to some kind of relative sanity of, oh my god, okay. Lewis, you are strangling the thing that induced your bout of sanity. So again, you can reclaim some level of sanity in this moment. Jimmy, you're Jimmy, and you are actively not processing what's going on, but you have your faculties. What do the 3 of you do? I will tell you this. After you all make an intelligence roll.
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay, so before I make this roll, I'm gonna tell you what I would like to do.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I think I'll try to run inside, because she has opened the door, so I can now run inside. And I want to use the blue serum.
Okay.
Fun idea.
Interesting. What do you want to do with it?
I'm probably just gonna throw it on the flesh monster.
It's in a
On what?
syringe at the moment.
Oh, then I'm just gonna try to inject it to him.
Okay.
Rather you than me, man. I'm scared that's just going to superpower it, and we're going to go into phase
Well,
3 of the
if
boss
I remember
battle.
well the notes that we found before,
Oh.
the blue one was the one who which was supposed to do like the reverse effect.
It said that in the notes.
I think so.
Oh, is that the one with the rat?
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think so.
Jimmy is not a scientist,
Lewis, what skill?
but he did get an extreme success in intelligence, so maybe he also remembered.
And did you all succeed your intelligence rolls? And then Lewis will come back
Just
to
a
this
normal
action?
success for me.
Okay.
Same.
Extreme for Jimmy.
So Maggie and Lewis, you both get the sense that Lewis and Maggie, you both get the sense that this flesh, this inhuman, ungodly flesh monster is consuming and replicating at this ridiculous rate. It does not appear to be slowing down. If anything, it's speeding up. And if you don't do something to stop it within the next few minutes, it is going to have consumed the room, and it will begin spilling out of the windows and the doors. Jimmy, with your extreme success, you are certain that your father is going to be thoroughly upset if you let this thing continue. But you have a moment. You don't have the same mind moment that Lewis is having, because that's Lewis's real life application of ideas. You remember, Jimmy, that downstairs there was a generator. By the generator, you remember tapping one of the big gasoline tanks and going, God, I wish I had a plan. I wish I had a plan. And as you're tapping that gasoline canister and you went, nope, nothing there. You're now going, wait a minute.
Wait, I have a flask full of alcohol and fire in my pocket.
And a flask full of fire. With these two flasks.
I've had fire all along. I will burn this thing.
Okay, so there is
and
an
he
idea.
takes out the alcohol and starts pouring it.
Okay, what alcohol is it?
It is a flask.
Of
Whiskey.
It is large hip flask. Yeah, whiskey, why not?
Okay, cool. So you've got a hip flask of whiskey. Just as you're pulling out that hip flask and you're pulling out that lighter, in fact, tell me what you're going to do, Jimmy, because I'm going to obviously jump to Lewis, but I'd like to hear what you're going to do.
I'm going to say, get out the room, Maggie. I think I got this. And then it's going to start pouring alcohol into the main mass of the creature and getting his matches ready.
Maggie, you hear Jimmy saying, get out of the room, I got this. And essentially you see Jimmy trying to get the thing drunk by throwing alcohol at it, is what you see here. Maggie, do you leave the room?
Yeah, the red mist is just now starting to clear as I realize there is no head to hammer and it's only growing. And get out of the room. And yes, that's a good. And what are you? And who cares? It's Jimmy being Jimmy.
How do you get out of the room? You can't get to the door into the other office because the flesh monster is consumed that area now.
Cool.
You have a locked door behind you. The window is smashed through.
Yeah, I don't happen to see like a bunch of keys just sort of drifting on this.
They're in Jasper's pocket.
Well, Jasper, just in case they've been extruded as non-organic matter. I don't know.
I feel like, Jasper's trousers is no more. So therefore, the keys might be on the floor.
Exactly.
Just lift up the flesh monster and have a little look.
Prop it up with the crutch, crawl underneath, make a cozy fort. No, okay, yeah. So really, the window is my only viable avenue. Oh, okay. I've walked around this campus a lot, so I know, is this the kind of building that is just sheer, or does it have like balconies and like, could you feasibly Assassin's Creed this building?
No.
Or is it just a jump to your death?
Wait, did you say you have a door behind you?
There is a door behind you, but it's locked. There is a small window in the door that's been smashed through by a hammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could smash the door.
I don't know that I'm up to that task with like a wooden crutch. I was thinking more, I might try and make a flying leap over the flesh monster through the door into the office
I want to
because
see that. Let's do that.
isn't locked. Yeah.
And you might burn, I guess.
This is metagame wise, this is a terrible, terrible choice because you're going to ask me to roll jump, which nobody has any points in, and maybe I could have gotten away with a strength roll to try and open the door, but that's what I'm going to do.
I wouldn't necessarily assume.
No, all right.
Maggie, what's going to happen here? Can I have a jump roll, please? And as you jump, you can see that there is this, the flesh is building, tendrils are coming off it, and as you begin to jump, oh, what's happened?
I got a hard success. That's a 5 under
Oh, for
20.
God's
I used
sake.
the tendrils as stepping stones.
Okay, outstanding.
Yes, Maggie.
You use the soles of your shoes, this non-organic matter, to step over on one or two of these tendrils, and then launch yourself through the door into the office.
I use the crutch to like pole vault. I go even further.
Even better.
I'm unstoppable.
Pole vault through, bang off the wall, fall into the office. Just as Lewis is coming around, Lewis, you see Maggie essentially fall through the door that you're going through. The flesh monster has consumed pretty much the entire floor. The blue syringe is on the side, but to get to it, you're going to have to reach around, getting rather close to this flesh pulp monster that is now the size of a room. It's about 15-foot diameter now, and it is almost filling up the entire room. Lewis, as you're reaching out for that syringe with blue glowing liquid inside, I'm going to need you to give me... It's going to be a dodge roll.
Dodge roll. That's fine. That's fine.
Fleshy tendrils.
Please, 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 please. No. It's a failure.
It's a failure. Can you give me a 1d6, please?
Yeah, of course I can do that. Put. 3.
Okay, and can you give me a luck roll, please?
Yeah, of course. I love to use my 8 points of luck. It's a failure.
So a tendril whips out, and as you're leaning across, it whips across your arm and up over your neck, and this tendril latches onto you, and you can feel it sucking, pulling, kind of grabbing into your flesh and almost pulling it taut to the point of ripping it from your body. You're reaching out, your hand's just about to get to the syringe, but this tendril, Lewis, it lifts you from your feet and starts to lift you into the air. You don't quite have the luck to reach this blue serum, but you do have words, Lewis. You do have language. You're being lifted into the air by this fleshy, pulp-growing monster with tendrils. What do you do? What do you say?
No, the blue one. I was almost.
And with that, you see Lewis's body thrown on top of the fleshy monster as he lands on it, and almost instantly, the blue one. Lewis is gone. Maggie, Jimmy, the flesh monster grows, almost expanding beyond the room. What do you do? We have seconds left for you to do anything before this goes beyond any ability to actually do anything. Jimmy, you've thrown some alcohol on this thing. It's probably covered about 3 square foot of this now 30-foot square monster thing that's growing.
I'm committed. I have to kill it with fire. I'm going to throw the fire. If Maggie wants to do anything with the serum and she understood what Lewis was going on about, she can do it.
He either wanted me to inject him with the blue syringe or the monster. The monster's
That's the
closer.
same.
Or
Maggie,
myself.
give us an intelligence roll. Jimmy,
No, no.
give me a. What are you doing? Lighting? Is this an attack? Is this just like a dexterity
No, I'm
thing?
literally just lighting a match and dropping it on the alcohol area. I don't know if it takes much skill, unless, of course, I need to roll sanity first for seeing my friend consumed.
Ah, that'd be a good one.
whatever
Let's
that
have that.
was.
Let's have both Maggie and Jimmy give us a sanity roll, please, because Lewis was rather important.
You had to open your big mouth, Jimmy.
No, I appreciate those reminders. They're always very welcome.
I also failed. So
Hard success on sanity.
Okay.
Failure on intelligence.
Maggie's gone into problem-solving mode. It's pure ice-cold logic at this moment. Maggie, your intelligence roll?
That was a failure, 95 over 70. So at this point, I would like to spend my luck, please.
Okay, go for it. How much are you using here? 25 luck?
25 points to make it a success, bringing my luck down to 42, an auspicious number.
Okay.
you just keep clicking luck.
He's trying
I
to
do,
be,
sorry.
He wants to be that lucky.
And you had an extreme success and a hard success. What a waste.
Just
Oh.
ignore them. Roll 20 is hard to edit.
I'm glad that those are out of the way because you won't be getting those back. But you do in that moment, as you spend that luck to make that intelligence roll, you understand. Blue serum. Lewis was talking about using the blue serum to inject it, not him. Jimmy, you strike your match, you light it. The flesh monster.
Do I lose any sanity?
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? You lost sanity. 57 over 52, seeing Lewis getting eaten. It's going to be a 1d8, please.
All right. Well, let's hope I can set things on fire anyway.
Do I lose anything for success?
You do. You're going to lose 3 points for success. In fact, actually, no,
I
not 3
lost
points.
2.
Yeah, you're going to lose 1 point for success.
Whew.
Is that it, 2? Honestly,
Yeah.
Jimmy, get a conscience.
No, Jimmy has a
Wow.
lot to live for.
Jimmy still thinks this is a joke. Jimmy, yeah, moment, panic, strike the match, throw the
Drop
match
it.
down. The whiskey ignites. There is a small flame. You see the flesh kind of maneuver away. Some of the flesh burns and bubbles. You almost see, though, this flesh separates itself from the burning flesh. And the flesh that you've ignited burns, bubbles, blackens, and dies on the floor. But the other flesh is protecting itself. Maggie, this has presented you with an opportunity because as the flesh recedes, it has given you one last opportunity to retrieve that blue serum and do with it what Lewis intended.
Wonderful. So as the tendrils sort of recoil, I'm swatting them away with the crutch. My other hand, I'm grabbing the syringe and I'm jabbing it into this bubbling tumescence and plunger all the way down and hoping that was the red panic button.
Ask you for the same rolls I asked Lewis for. Firstly, a dodge roll, please.
Yeah, okay. I'm not so good at that. And in fact, that's a 95 over 35. And no, I do not have that much luck.
Can I use a point of luck to make that a fumble?
It's a fitting end.
So close.
Maggie,
So close.
a tendril wraps across again, similarly as it did to Lewis, neck, shoulder, chest, another one, waist, leg, wrapping around you. You feel them come on. You feel this sharp, intense pain. You feel the tightness in your skin. You feel yourself being lifted up into the air. As you're being lifted up into the air, can you give me a luck roll? Same as Lewis had.
Yes, indeedy. Come on, 42 luck. 68.
Oh my word. And you just spent that luck, didn't you? You just spent it.
Yeah.
Which is a gloriously sad moment for all of us. I'm not smiling. And you get lifted up into the air, and exactly, almost like Lewis, in that same moment, you reach down for the blue syringe and you just can't quite reach it. You're pulled into the air. Another tendril wraps around your arms. And you're thrown onto the mass. And what? Any last word, Maggie?
I never got that coffee. No, it's just screaming. It's just the blue one.
I'm going to inform you of the worst. Jimmy, you can tell me your epilogue moment in a moment. The flesh bubbles, windows smash, walls begin to crumble. Tyna is consumed. Camille is consumed. Poor Deirdre is consumed. Bloody Phelps is consumed. What a dick. And the flesh just bubbles out and consumes everybody. It pours out of the windows down into the campus. It begins swarming out. People come out to see. Police officers are there firing bullets into this thing. It's doing nothing. Tendrils are whipping out, scooping up Captain Johnson. Night Watchman Forrester is consumed, and this thing grows and grows. Jimmy, you race from this building. You race home. You probably race home to Daddy. And over the radio on the next few hours, over the next day, you hear the reports coming in.
The giant flesh seems to have taken over the entire city of Arkham. It seems to be growing in an aggressive manner without being able to stop. The military have been called in. We are using everything that we are using to be able to...
Jimmy, at your father's mansion, what do you do in your last few moments as you realize there is no escaping this giant, living, chaotic flesh that seems to have grown beyond anything anyone could imagine? You can see it. You've been able to see it for a day now, miles away. Big, tall, expanding. It's taking over the city. You're at your father's mansion in the country, and it is creeping up to your house, second by second, minute by minute, tendril by tendril. What'd you do, Jimmy?
I honestly feel like Daddy would have arranged some kind of transportation to an island somewhere very, very far away where we can restart our life. Okay. And I don't know how long the tendrils would take until they reach there, but Jimmy's not having a great time.
No, I like it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
okay. Let's have a little... Okay, so you probably have about a month on this island where you can pretend that you weren't part and parcel to the end of the world. And essentially, after about a month, you see on the horizon one day as you're sipping some milk out of a coconut, sitting on the beach, the sand between your toes. Is that the sunset? No, it's the middle of the day. Why would they be red on the horizon? Oh. You look down at the ocean and you can see there's already tendrils in the ocean, across the bed of the ocean. You can see now over the next day, it gets closer and closer and closer and closer until this island appears to be the only last resort of human life on the planet, of any life on the planet. And the flesh just gets smaller and smaller, consuming everything you're doing. And in the last moment, you and your father are there standing together.
And all the staff.
And all the staff. Well, your father's actually probably told the staff to try and hold the flesh back. They've all been consumed, and your father just turns to you and just goes, Jimmy, son.
Yes, Daddy.
Always wanted to say this to you, but you make me proud, son.
Just gonna shed a single tear.
At which point the flesh consumes you both, and the world turns into this red galactic orb of tendril writhing flesh, spinning and turning and twisting. There's nothing else left to consume, and it is left for years and years and years. Until one day, a small little spaceship arrives in the atmosphere. And you read the subtitles of these two insect-looking like aliens. One saying to the other, "This planet used to have landmass and water. What happened?" "I don't know. There seems to be this red pulp. What should we do?" "We should probably take a sample and take it back for examination." "Yeah. let's get a sample. What's the worst that could happen? And that, investigators, is how you ended the world.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Congratulations.
More than one, it sounds like.
It does. Many worlds. And that, wonderful listeners, is Flesh Wounds by Pete Burgess.
Amazing.
Which is a fantastic scenario.
That is a corker.
Yeah,
Well
and
done,
it
Pete.
can end in just a lovely visual for you all. That is essentially what you did.
Love it.
Fantastic
Look at
artwork.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that Jimmy, that was probably one of the last things you saw. Absolutely superb. Well done, all.
Nice.
Well done.
What I really enjoyed, I think, is the diversity of the cast. We meet so many people. They're all so colorful. We have fun with all of them. On its part, because, Newman, you did a good job. On its part, because the scenario is just providing you with so many opportunities to, have fun with us. So, yeah, I really enjoyed all those great opportunities for role play and just having fun all around. It was nice being in the Miskatonic University and doing some, nice student things.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Howl.
I especially love the layers that there are to this because it's quite common for there to be, a monster or a ritual to stop. But here you've got the seeds of this ancient cult, this reanimation technology. It went in a whole sort of sci-fi end of the world direction at the end that I really wasn't expecting. There were more threads to pull on than I expected. And in fact, I have one question for you, Keeper. What's with the meeting at 11 a.m.? Is it significant? What would Professor Marsh have had to say? They took my office.
So Marsh was another avenue to lead into Tyner being really suspicious. He's acting really weird. He's got some experiments going on. I've challenged him, and my challenge was unsuccessful. He's kicked me out of my office. He's got the board against me. So he's basically trying to use some trusted students to basically do a bit of legwork for him. So even though we didn't make that meeting, it's another opportunity that the writer has provided to branch those avenues.
To funnel you.
Yeah,
that's really well done. Honestly, I haven't read it, but it seems like a really well put together scenario. So
absolutely.
Well done, Pete. Thank you for running. This has been super fun. And shout out, if anyone hasn't listened to the Stars Are Right podcast, you'll find Phaedra and myself there at starsareright.com. We're going to be playing Berlin, the Wicked City pretty soon.
Yeah, I voted for that for you guys. That was one of the ones I voted for. I'm so pleased you guys are doing it.
It was
Phaedra.
a close one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what is there not to like? Everything everyone mentioned, they kind of wait, these are the bad guys? No, they're not the bad guys. Yes, the very there were a lot of plot twisting, which I love in a scenario. And the handouts are amazing if you get a chance to see this visually. Pete, you've done an amazing job with this. It's very impressive. I'm definitely gonna be carefully leafing through it again before I do any more formatting or anything and steal ideas.
Yeah, it is a very beautifully laid out scenario as well.
It does.
Yeah, you do get a really lovely looking scenario. With a lot of personality in it. Really.
Yeah,
nice.
you managed to take the kind of Herbert West classic story and make something new out of it, which is funnily enough at Stars Are Right, we're also working on a Herbert West story at the moment that's going to be published soon, so maybe we can make a Herbert West bundle. If you have any Herbert West stories, let's bring them all together.
A Westiverse.
A Westiverse.
A Westiverse.
So I will say, and one of the things that I really like about this is that it is, and Pete, he does state in the introduction, he kind of states that this is a spiritual sequel to the Reanimator, and that you can tell that there's a lot of love from Pete to the Herbert West stories, the Reanimator, and that's gone into this. You can see that that's a big focus. It's not like I'll do the Herbert West and I'll because it's popular. You can see that Pete loves those stories, and this is why this scenario exists. there is so much more beyond what we did. I think we did a great one. I think you guys did a fantastic investigation. It is, and I did double check this with Pete, and Pete's really, Pete was great. In fact, actually, I had a conversation with him because at one point you guys were so committed to Camille being the baddie. Her name is actually Celia Rossi. She's actually the daughter of the Rossi you saw in the photo holding the teddy bear.
Of course.
Of course. There's a huge amount in here. There's loads more we could pull out, but you guys did brilliantly in terms of your investigation, in terms of your expanse of everything. I can assure you, and Pete, I think, would agree with this because we talked about this quite a lot. Pete would say that this is not supposed to be a very survivable scenario. It's not that everybody always dies. It's just that it's supposed to be, the blob. It's supposed to be how the bloody hell do we stop this from consuming the world? It is a really, really hard scenario. And you guys were bloody close. In fact, you obviously had two attempts with the blue serum, which was the serum that would have turned the flesh to ash and mummified it. So you guys were so close. But the green serum was the original reanimator serum, which is what infected Walter William Patchett. The purple serum was the newly transmogrified serum that we saw Jasper take and become this chaos-made flesh using the Necromonicon and Herbert West's notes. And then the blue serum was sample 17, which was the serum that was the anti-serum, essentially. So I just think it's a fantastic scenario. Really loved it. And as I mentioned to Phaedra, Charles, and Howl off air, I do think this is the kind of scenario that you can either run at length like we have done and love it to bits and really kind of get stuck in. But I also think it's a great convention scenario. And if you wanted to run it on a bit of a streamline, you'll still get so much out of it and your investigators will have so much fun. So Pete, a huge well done and thank you to you. Cracking scenario. Great work. Looking forward to the next one. Listeners, audience, thank you so much for joining us on our season 2 premiere for the main feed here at the Miskatonic Playhouse. If you have a scenario that you'd like to send to us for us to look at, please do get in touch at www.miskatonicplayhouse.com or send it straight to our email at miskatonicplayhouse@gmail.com and get in touch. Join us on our Discord, join us on our Facebook, come and see what we're doing, come and see what our friends are doing at The Stars Are Right. Come and spend some time with us and love this community. Everybody be well, look after yourselves, and we'll see you the next time the curtain rises. Bye for now. That concludes Flesh Wounds by Pete Burgess. Look out for the Inside the Mind interview coming soon. Thank you as ever to Sirenscape for their sound design tools, and of course thank you to the team working behind the scenes at the Miskatonic Playhouse. And thank you for being a wonderful audience. If you like what we're doing, you can support us for as little as £1 on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi Miskatonic Playhouse. And we would be incredibly thankful if you could leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts or watch videos. You can also join us on our Discord, Facebook and Twitter through our website www.miskatonicplayhouse.com and through the links found in the show notes. The management requests that any fingers found crawling in the auditorium should be notified to staff immediately. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.